Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with your daily sickness video. And where am I? Where's my face? Well, today you're not going to see it because we're going to do something you guys are always waiting for, something you guys are always excited about, and that is a new library tour. We're going to take a look at the Cinema Sickness Media Library / Theater. There have been some updates, some things have changed, especially the name. I used to call it the Cinematic Media Library. Now it's just the Media Library because now I have not only movies, but I have music CDs, and I also have Game Boy games down here, so we're going to take a look at that as well. So let's just dive right in, and we're going to start off with all the different media that I have down here and how I have it put away. A lot of people ask me, do I alphabetize everything? And the answer is sort of. Not in the typical way most people would alphabetize their titles, because that would be insane and take me forever to do. Just putting away one title would take hours upon hours upon hours. So instead what I do is I have these great spacer cards here, as you can see right there. That one says DVD numbers. And what I do is I have all my DVDs that start with numbers. They start there and go all the way across and then down, and then they end up right here. And then there starts DVD A. So basically any DVD that starts with a number goes there, and then any DVD that starts with an A goes here and goes all the way down to, where does that end? I don't even know. There it goes. Down to DVD B. So all my A's are together, B's are together, C's are together, D's are together, and so on and so forth. But they're not alphabetized within each section. I find it much, much, much easier just to do it that way. It doesn't cause me as big of a headache when trying to put stuff away. It's pretty easy. In order to put something away, let's say I have a title that starts with A. All I got to do is take out B and stick the A title in there and just do that all the way down and across. It's pretty easy. It takes me a few minutes to put one title away, or a bunch of titles, however many titles I have that I've just recently picked up. It takes me only a little bit of time, a few minutes to put them all away. Whereas if I was to alphabetize these, I'd be spending hours upon hours. And it's still pretty easy to find something. It can be a little daunting at sometimes, but for the most part, if I want, the Accidental Spy, I just gotta look around. Oh, there it is. So it's not too difficult to find stuff still, and it works pretty well. It works best for me this way because, like I said, I buy media so often and buy stuff so much that it would just be insane to have to put this away alphabetically. I used to do it that way, and it just sort of take me hours to put stuff away. It would take me like 2 hours to put titles away, and that became insane. So we have the first wall here, DVDs, and they start all the way there and go across, and then to the next one. So they just go across and down, all the way down there to the corner. And then the same thing on this wall, continuing on with DVD, all the way across and down. And then onto the next wall. Yes, this whole wall here is entirely DVDs. This wall actually runs the entire length of the library. So all DVDs. Again, running the same exact way. Going all the way across there, and then down to the next row, all the way across there. And then finally, DVDs end up on the back wall here, which is already about halfway full. As you can see, running all the way across to the other end. This one runs the whole length as well. And they end up down here. And actually, down here at the end, I have my Super Bits, my mini DVD, and my 3D DVD. I actually have them separated. Although technically they are still, both of these formats are also technically DVD format. They're nothing really special. I just have them separated because I think to me, they're special. And they deserve to be at least a little bit separated. And I have this little popcorn thing with a little brick inside to keep stuff from falling over. So that is all my DVD. I think we'll next go on to Blu-ray. And Blu-ray only takes up this wall right here. I shouldn't say I recently started collecting Blu-ray. I've been collecting Blu-ray for a while now, but not nearly as long as I've been collecting DVD, which is why, as you can see, my Blu-ray collection only takes up this one wall. And again, separated the same way. A's are together, B's are together, so on and so forth. And they start up here, and get across, and then down, and so on and so forth. And they end up right down there. And these are just DVDs. These are not 3D DVDs. I have my 3D DVDs separated. I will show you those in a little bit. Take a look at this from over here, this angle. There you go. There's another angle of the Blu-ray. All right, we'll take a look at what's on this shelf here. These 3 shelves, I should say. These are all my standard cased VHS. This VHS in these standard cardboard paper cases. Again, separated the same exact way. Everything in my collection is separated this way for the most part. A's are together, B's are together, C's are together. Basically, I have everything separated that way because it's the most easiest way to put stuff away. And numbers start there. And again, across and down each row. I got 3 of these shelves. And then on to shelf number 2. And then onto shelf number 3, which unfortunately I've almost filled up, which is a little scary. As you can see, we go into the back here, and I mean, I still have some space. You can see they end up right here. And I do still have some space, but I've been filling it up pretty fast. And once this area is filled up with VHS, haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I got a little bit of time. So those are all my standard VHS and standard cases. I'll show you in a little bit my VHS and clamshells go and other cases like that. All right, what should we take a look at next? Let's go with film. We have my 35mm right here. This is all my film. And then we go into 16mm on this row here. Then we go into 8mm with these 2 rows here. And then we go into Super 8 with these 2 columns right there. These aren't really alphabetized because I don't have too many of them. They don't really need to be alphabetized. When you only have a few. Alphabetization? I'm not saying that right. You guys know what word I'm looking for. Alphabetizing with only a few titles isn't really something that's necessary. So I don't do it. All right, then we go on to Laserdiscs. And again, separated, as you can see, the same exact way. These are my Laserdiscs starting there, coming all the way across. And then down to the next row. And then on to the next row down here. And then from there we go into CED, capacitance electronic disc. Again, separate all the same way. See, I got the spacer cards in there. They start right there. Go all the way across. Down to the next row. And then they end up down there. So that's all my film, Laserdisc, and CED on these 2 shelves right here. Then on to the back. Hopefully it's not too dark back here. I did add that light not too long ago to add some light back here. But it still does get a little dark. Hopefully you can see all this. Back here we have a lot of more just random stuff. I don't want to say necessarily obscure. Not all this is obscure. But a lot of just more random stuff. We have HD-DVD. Again, these are all separated the same exact way. The same alphabetization as everything else. So HD-DVD, which goes all the way across the top row. And they end up right here. That's where it ends. Let me go into CDI. Again, these are CDI videos, not CDI games. I do not collect CDI games. The only games I collect are for Game Boy, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. So we have CDI. Then we do go into my 3D Blu-ray, which starts here. Goes all the way across. And down to here. 3D Blu-ray ends right there. So tons of 3D Blu-rays. I do them separated from a regular Blu-ray because it is a different format. Then we go into my D-VHS, which is a 1080i VHS, believe it or not. Got a few of those. They end up right here. Then we go into my HD-VMD, which is this is an obscure format right here. This is pretty obscure. And the fact that I can even say I have an HD-VMD collection still to this day blows my mind. It will forever blow my mind. I never thought I'd have a single one of these discs, let alone all these right here. That's my entire HD-VMD collection. Just absolutely insane. And then we go into DivX. They start right here. And they come all the way across. And they end up right here. So these are all my DivX titles, which are unwatchable, unfortunately, because they require to dial into a phone service that no longer exists. Then we go into my PVD, my personal video disc. We have, I separated from the black and white discs, which start here, end up here. Then we go into PVD color disc, which starts there and go down, and then come across here and end up there. Then from there we go to Video 8. Here's my Video 8 tapes. These are pretty awesome. Got a few of those. They're all in there, if you can see that. They end up right in there. Then we go into DVD-R. Comes across here. Got a few of these. Been collecting these more and more recently. Not a big fan of the format. Not a fan that a lot of stuff's been being released on this, but it is what it is. And then we got some fun stuff here. We have a Max Clip. As you can see, Disney Max Clip. Well, maybe you can see that. There we go. Disney Max Clip. And from there, we go into my N-Power Fusion. Yeah, some weird stuff. These are just SD cards, but the Max Clips are put out by Disney, and the N-Power Fusion is put out by Nickelodeon. And I have only one Max Clip, and I only have 2 N-Power Fusions. Then we go into my JMCs. They're Juice Box, Juice Box? Yeah, Juice Box Media Clip. And I have them in these DS cases, because, let's see if I can show you. I gotta do this all with one hand. I have them in these cases because they just come like that, little tiny clips, and they actually fit really well into these DS cases. So I got a whole bunch of extra ones of these and just popped them in there for storage because there was really no other way to store them. So that is a JuiceWare Media Clip, which is for the or is it Juice? I think it's JuiceWare Media Clip. I think it's a JuiceWare Media Clip for the Juice Box player. I don't know. Very obscure little handheld device for children. Then we're going to CD-ROMs. There's a whole bunch of different CD-ROM videos right here. Then from there we go into my movie cassettes, which is a fun little device for kids again, for like the 70s or something like that. They start there, go across there, come down to here, and then from there we go into my Fisher-Price movie viewers, which is basically the same exact thing. And we even have Action Viewer, which is pretty much, again, the same exact thing. A lot of companies did pretty much the same exact thing with these video cassettes. They're fun, though. Just fun to collect for kids. Then we go into video... Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, you know, I forgot one thing. CD video. This is CDV. Not to be confused with video CD. VCD. 2 completely different formats with 2 very similar names. I only have one CD video, but I have a whole bunch of video CDs. They start here and go across, and they end up all the way down here. And that is the end of that. So this is all, again, just all kind of random and obscure stuff back here. Stuff that really didn't have anywhere necessarily to go. So I just stuck all that here together. And I got some room to grow. So a lot of fun stuff back here. I like this section. One of my favorite sections, because when it comes to collecting media, the more obscure, the more weird, the happier I am. All right, and we'll take a look at what are up in these rafters up here. As you can see, got some lights up there, so you can actually see what's up there. This is where we go into things like my VHS and clamshells, which again, I'll alphabetize the same exact way. They start there with numbers and go all the way across this row here, all the way down to the end, and then come here and go all the way down to that end as well. And they actually almost fill up this entire row. I've got a few more, and the entire row is filled up. And then I'll go on to the next row, which I left empty. So I'd say probably in a month or so, I'll probably have moved on to this row. And then we go into my beta. Now my beta, I just have, you guys can see up there, it's kind of dark. Do apologize. Beta starts right there and goes all the way across, all the way down there, and then comes over up into there and actually ends right there. And that's all my beta. Now I have beta just separated, get alphabetized the same way, but as far as cases are concerned, that's just all my beta. I don't have like standard cases separated from clamshells or anything like that. I just have them all together. No real reason to separate those. VHS I have separated because I have so many. Beta I have a lot, but not a ton. And then up here we also have CD soundtracks. Now I do separate my music CDs from my CD soundtracks. I keep them separated because I just like to. And they are all up there as well. They go all the way across this row right there, all the way down to the end. And then I don't know if you're going to be able to see these. There you go. They come over there and come across, and they end up right there. So filling up these rows pretty quickly with CD soundtracks. These are just soundtracks. I don't collect any other format for soundtracks. I don't collect record or cassette or anything like that. Only CD. when it comes to soundtracks. But I have a ton, and I love collecting soundtracks. There's so many good ones out there. It's a lot of fun to collect. And then the last stuff I have up here in the rafters, I have my UMD videos. It's not UMD games, but UMD videos for the Sony PSP. Again, all advertised the same way. They start there, go all the way across, go on to the next row, and again, all the way across, and then finally up into there and across. And that's all those. So I have all them separated. So I do have a few more shelves left to move on to. So I do believe that's almost about it for all my media, cinematic media anyway. I do have some goodies here though. These are all my items that are just too big to fit on standard shelves. I have to put all this stuff somewhere. So I put on these two shelves here. Big things like just big box sets, you know, like Planet of the Apes, Caesar headset there, Disney treasure sets. They're in very large clamshell, or well, very large collectible tins. They don't fit. So all kinds of fun stuff here. I do have, these are movie CDs. That's a whole different format in the large cases. I also have a VHD, my one and only VHD. Got Howard the Duck. Very cool. And again, very large, so it fits. I just put it on there. I think that's it for media, different types of media. But I do have all kinds of stuff here. Everything from DVD, there's Blu-rays, there's Beta on here. Even got some PVDs down there, all kinds of, I mean, let's get like Blu-ray, VHS, all kinds of different stuff. Gone with the Wind, you know, sets where I have both it on VHS and Beta, just because I'm weird like that. All kinds of stuff. Those there, like Blu-ray sets, all kinds of fun stuff like that. And again, that is about it for my cinematic media, except for one last thing. And that is up here. And these are my Game Boy Advance videos. So before I started collecting for the Game Boy, I did collect for Game Boy Advance video. I do have them separated. As you can see, I'm trying to get them all boxed, but I don't have them all boxed yet. So some of them I just have in these DS cases. The old DS cases that actually still hold the Game Boy Advance. They still have a Game Boy Advance slot. So they're all up there. Eventually I'll get them all boxed. I do have almost all these. There are a few I'm missing still. But I do have almost every title. Maybe like 5 or 6 more I need to pick up, and then I'll have them all. But I do eventually, like I said, want to get them all boxed. Alright, now onto some new media. And we have CDs, which I just started collecting. So we got some big cases up here that do not fit on the regular shelves. This Metal Equals Life, which is a double CD, but it also comes with a DVD. It's why it's like in a DVD size case. But it is a CD-DVD combo, not a DVD-CD combo. And then my Misfits collection there, which is really cool, which comes in this awesome coffin-shaped case. And then we actually move on to the CDs. And again, they're all alphabetized the same way. Numbers there. They go all the way across the back row. And then they go on to the front row. And then again, back row. Onto the front row. And then into there. They end up down here. So that's it for CDs. I just recently started buying CDs again. I used to have a huge CD collection many years ago when I was in high school and even in the college. I had a giant CD collection, really cool, a lot of obscure like punk bands and stuff like that, because I'm really into punk rock and ska. So many awesome bands, so many awesome, really obscure, very hard to get now CDs that I was an idiot and sold a long time ago. Very much regret that, but I just recently started collecting CDs again, so I'm trying to get them all back again. Hopefully at some point that'll happen. So I'm having fun collecting these now. But like I said, I only have a little bit of them because I just started collecting them. And I'm getting more picky about what I pick up. So eventually we'll have this all filled. Alright, now into something new that I just recently built, and that are some custom drawers down here. I actually just built these last night, actually. So these are custom drawers built into the shelves that I made. And these are what hold all my Game Boy stuff. So inside this drawer here, that's where I actually have my Game Boy. I have a card charger, my e-reader, and my Game Genie. It's going to be so difficult to do with one hand. And the next one here, this is all my original black and white Game Boy games. And then from there, these are going to be the hardest. These stick a little bit. They stick because it's the shape of these shelves. They kind of like, they get a little narrower, I found out, towards the bottom. So this is going to be difficult to do with one hand. But we have my Game Boy Color games all inside there. And then in here, get one-handed. This is this is horrible to do. Two hands, pretty easy to open. One hand, there you go. Game Boy Advance, which is obviously what I have the most of. So, very cool. Ugh, there we go. All right, so that's where I keep all my Game Boy games. Now, I did have these separated the same way as all my other media, you know, A's together, B's together, and so forth. Unfortunately, I had to do away with that simply because of the shape of the game. See, when it comes to Game Boy games, these are great. They're just like this. They're flat. They stack next to one another so incredibly well. But then you have things like Game Boy Color, which unfortunately are shaped like that with this little bump right here. They don't really stack, and the Game Boy Advance has a little like a little grip, like notch area on the top. And again, they don't stack next to each other very well either. So it made things really difficult, made it look very ugly, having them all stacked together. The only thing that looked good was the Game Boy games. So I didn't like it, and ended up just putting them in these drawers. And it's working great. It's actually easier to find stuff in these drawers, amazingly, too, because the Game Boy games do not have end caps, or end labels. And because they do not have end labels, it actually makes it very difficult to look through stuff. You gotta like pull every single one out, try to find a title you're looking for. This way, I just gotta rummage a little bit, and I can find what I'm looking for pretty easily. So that is it for media. I'm trying to make sure I do not forget to show you anything. But no, I do believe that is every last bit of media I have. So let's take a look at, I guess we'll take a look at players I have now. All my different players down here. Let's start this over again, because it's getting towards the end. I had The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad playing, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we're getting towards the end. And I want to make sure it's still playing, hopefully, when you guys, when I get around to talking about this stuff. So, let's see, keep going. And almost there. There we go. Alright, so we'll restart that for you guys so I can talk about that in a minute. So down here, this, if you guys can see, I know it's going to be a little dark seeing these, I do apologize. But in here, this is a VHS DVD combo, which I actually have Ichabod playing on right now. Let me go into my D-VHS player, which if you're going to get one of these, make sure it has this logo right there, D-Theater, because if you get a D-VHS player and it doesn't have that, it will not play D-VHS, like pre-recorded D-VHS tapes. It'll only play ones that you can record on, so you don't want that. This will play both. Then down here, right there, I know a little dark, I do apologize. That is a region-free DVD player. Then followed up by, I'm trying to focus this all, by my HD-VMD player. And then underneath that is a Laserdisc player. It's actually a dual-sided player, so when you're watching a Laserdisc, when the one side of the Laserdisc is done playing, the laser actually flips over and reads the top of the Laserdisc, or the disc. So you never have to flip it, which is really cool. Then I have my Super Blue player, which actually plays Blu-rays and HD DVDs, and that's actually region-free, so I can play region whatever Blu-rays. HD DVDs are all region-free, which is kind of why I was actually rooting for the format during the format war. But Blu-rays, they're region-coded, and this plays any region. Very cool. Then we have my CDI player, which again I do not have for games. I only have for CDI movies. Then we have a beta player right there, and that is a CED player, capacitive electronic disc. And up in there, that is a 3D Blu-ray player and an HD DVD player. And then that is followed by another DVD player. But this is, I can show you this here. Let's see if I can focus on that. This is I'm trying to focus. There we go. This is a DivX enhanced player, which I love having, even though it technically doesn't really do anything because, again, as I mentioned before, the DivX format, in order to play it, you had to dial into a phone line. That phone line doesn't exist anymore. The company doesn't exist, so it doesn't do anything anymore. You can't actually watch the discs. There's no way to watch them. But I thought it'd be really cool to still own a player. I mean, you do pop the disc, it does tell you to like set up the phone line and stuff, which is really cool. So I'll never use it. It's just there as a showpiece, but I love it. I have my laptop down here, and underneath that, I have my video CD player. So I do have a, excuse me, a dedicated video CD player. That's it for all my standard players like that. Then we have, again, I know it's really dark, and I do apologize. I'm trying to pull these out. This here is a video 8 rewinder, and a beta rewinder, and a VHS rewinder. So if you're going to have Analog formats, you gotta have rewinders for all of them. And then we get to some fun stuff in here. This is a whole boatload of handheld devices. Everything from action viewer player. This here is the movie viewer. Then the Fisher-Price movie viewer. This here I use for Video 8. Video 8 VCRs, extremely expensive. But what's really cheap are these Video 8 camcorders. And what's fun about these is many of them, I gotta find it on here. I think it's on, is it here? I haven't played around with this in a long time. Yeah, there we go. As you can see right there, has video audio out. So you just have to hook that up to your TV, and you have a Video 8 VCR. These are super cheap. You can get these all over the place. You can find these at yard sales for like $1. You can find these at like flea markets or pawn shops for like $5, something like that. They're really cheap because nobody uses these things anymore. Nobody wants them, but everybody had them back in the day. They were very popular. And if you find one with audio video out, you have a very cheap VCR. I have 2 of these. I always pick them up when I come across them. My Game Boy Advance SP is in here. This is not the one I use for games. This is the one I use just to watch video on. Then we have this here being the juice box I told you guys about, which I don't want to pull all these out. But I have my juice box in there to play my juice box, Juiceware media clips. In here, this is for my, I'm trying to remember all the names of them now. This is for the Disney version of the SD cards, which I'm totally forgetting the name of. I do apologize about that, but that's the player for that. This is for the N-Power Fusion, which was the Nickelodeon SD cards. I have a Video Now XP. Very cool. The best model they made for the Video Now. But just for the hell of it, I also have a black and white Video Now player. Even though the Video Now color will play black and white discs, it is backward compatible. I still have a black and white player. And then my Sony PSP is in here, which again I use for UMD videos only, not actually games. And of course all the power cords and whatnot and all this stuff you need for all this goodness. So that's all my basically handheld stuff in there. There are a lot of handheld video devices, believe it or not. Alright, from there, I'll show you my film projectors. We have a 16mm. Then we have my Dual 8 player. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what everything is. That's my Super 8 player right there. Then we go into my Dual 8 player. And then my 8mm player. I shouldn't call them players, projectors. 16mm, Super 8, Dual 8, which actually plays both Super 8 and 8mm film, and then my standard 8mm film projectors. So I do have film projectors. I watch them right here. That pulls down. That is my film screen. So all I got to do is plug them up, and I can watch anything I want. Watch all my film over here. All right. Then I'll show you my TVs. I do have both a standard definition and an HD TV down here. You gotta have both, because if you're like me and you collect things like VHS, Beta, Laserdisc, CED, any of those older formats, they look like garbage on an HD TV, so you gotta watch them on a standard definition. Now, as you can see, I have all my TVs hooked up. I'll show you that in a sec. That's why I have this playing. I have it on mute, so you can't hear anything. As you can tell, again, I'm watching the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Classic. So again, you gotta have both. If you're, I hate when I go to a friend's house and I'm watching a VHS on an HD TV because it just looks so bad. I prefer it on the TV it was made for. And this is a 3D TV as well. Eventually, I'm gonna upgrade to a 4K, but I'll wait for the price to drop a little bit. I'll probably get a 4K player sometime soon, but we'll see. I'm gonna wait for the TVs to drop in price a bit. They're surprisingly not super expensive. I was expecting them to be more expensive. They're actually fairly well priced, but I just bought this not too long ago, so I'm gonna hold off. And then I have another TV over here. It's another HD TV. This one's not 3D, just standard HD though. Another Vizio. So I have that up there. And then back here in this corner, I just have a standard TV up here. So as you can see, I have them all hooked up to one another, so I can play one movie and have it playing through all 4 TVs at the same time. So that way, no matter where I am in the library, whether I'm, working back here, putting some titles away, I can see the TV, because obviously I can't see any other TV, so I can have that. Or if I'm working back in here, back in this area, I got this TV, or I just got those TVs up there. I'm working up here. So basically, no matter where I am in the library, I can always look and see what's playing. And also, I'm trying to go for the whole feel of an old rental store. It's kind of what I want to go. I'm kind of going for like a early 90s rental store. A lot of people try to do 80s rental stores. Nothing wrong with that. I try to go for the feel of an early 90s rental store because that's when I really remember rental stores. Even though I was born in 82, for some reason when I think rental stores, I really think of the early 90s for some reason. I certainly went into them quite a bit in the 80s, but I think about them a lot in the 90s. So that's kind of what I'm going for, which is why I love this TV the best. I love it's just on this block of wood here. It just reminds me so much of how I used to see TVs in rental stores all the time on little shelves like that. All right, so that's it for all my media. That's it for all my different players, my projectors, and all my TVs. I'll quickly tell you how I have these hooked up. I do not have them all hooked up together or all even at the same time. Nothing like that. I have these hooked up as needed. So the wires aren't too bad back here. There are plenty of them, but it's not too crazy, and that's just because of the way I have everything hooked up. Again, I hook stuff up as I need it. If I need my VHS player, I hook it up. If I need... the only thing I have hooked up all the time, I have... oh, I forgot to show you guys. I'm so sorry. We can't forget Apple TV and my Roku. I do have an Apple TV and a Roku down here as well. I love both of those. Can't forget that. And internet connection as well. But, yeah, I can't forget to show you those. So I have these two hooked up all the time. My Apple TV and my Roku are always hooked up. Also, my Blu-ray player is always hooked up as well. Everything else, I hook up as needed. Those three I just constantly always have hooked up because they're the three that I use the most. So you see, wires aren't too bad back here. Here's one of my splitters. I have like this rabbit splitter, which is one of the ways I split my TVs. There's much better ways to split your TV, but I'm a sucker for all these weird old devices, and when I came across this, I'm like, I have to use it. That's what I have to use as my splitter. It's ridiculous. It's very old technology, but I love it. So I got that. Got an RF modulator there. There's my HDMI splitter, which I don't have currently. I'm not currently using that right now, but I can. So that is that. So no, not everything is hooked up. I used to do that. It was insane. There were wires everywhere. It was so confusing. There's no need to. I have the players that I use all the time hooked up, which is, again, just my Apple TV, Roku, and 3D Blu-ray player. Those are always hooked up. Everything else, just as needed. I've been talking for a half hour now. My throat's starting to get dry. I do apologize. All right, quickly, let's talk about some decor. So I got all kinds of stuff down here. I got these old display pieces from movie theaters, actually, but my Batman Forever signs right there. Got this fun Warner Brothers luggage tag that I got from a flea market just hanging there. I got these movie theater marquees. These are like the things you would see when you go into the ticket booth, and behind you it says all the times. These are what's showing underneath or over top of the times. I do apologize for my coughing. Got a bunch of those. Got things like Santa Claus Conquers the Martian DVD there. I do already have this movie and in a whole other set, but somebody actually sent this to me, and the actual artwork for the case was horrible. It looked really cheesy and bad, and just it looked like somebody took 2 seconds to make it. But I opened up the case and I saw the DVD, and I was like, that's the most amazing looking DVD ever. I love the artwork on this DVD. So whoever created the artwork on this DVD was a genius, and whoever created the artwork for the actual like DVD case was an idiot. So when I saw this artwork, I'm like, I gotta hang the disc up. I didn't need the disc because I do already own this on another set, but I had to hang the disc up because it was one of the coolest looking discs I've ever seen. I have my theater room marquee up there. My one and only full-size poster, which is Spice World, because, well, if I'm gonna have a full-size poster, why would I choose any other movie? Love it. I'm a huge Spice World fan. I know. It is what it is. Greeting from the Clampets, Beverly Hillbillies, window decal, and an MST3K decal, which I got on there. These I got from my closing blockbuster. We have Horror, Watch Something Creepy Tonight, which I love because they chose Red Dragon and Misery. Like, why? If you're going to choose two titles to show for horror, why those? They're good movies, but why those movies? Why not something like a slasher or something that you would actually... Like, Red Dragon and Misery are two of the last movies that come to mind when I think horror. I'd say they're both more thrillers than horror. Anyway, Blu-ray, and previewed movies to buy. Then we get these fun 3D. These are Disney Movie Club exclusive 3D. These are like inserts. You're supposed to put these in front of your DVD. I had a viewer send these to me, so I just decided to frame them. So they look pretty cool. Like I said, they're all 3D. They're pretty neat. They all change. This one here is pretty cool. Muppets Christmas into a classic holiday stories. Lilo and Stitch down there. And we got Dumbo. So those are fun. Like I said, framed up, but they were pretty cool. I got my Mater light switch cover. Also have Lightning McQueen. Guess, what do you want to call this? Why am I forgetting the name? What this is? I am drawing a blank. But anyway, there it is. So if you want to wipe your feet, you're good to go. Foot mat or something? I don't know. I'm going crazy. So that's there. So I like cars. So Lightning McQueen and Mater there. Lightning McQueen down there. Where are we going to go from there? Okay, then I got these here. These are really cool. This is so I can hang things like my hat and my keys and my jacket and stuff when I come down here. This also opens up. You can put stuff in there if you want. And there's also a little lip up there to put things in. I just put my glasses and stuff up in there. And I decorated them. They have these. This is one of the reasons why I really want these. They have these cool windows you can decorate. So put some fun stuff in there. And I got some posters here. These were full-size posters. I had to cut them down a little bit to fit in these. I got things like Cool as Ice, Angels in the Outfield. You come over to the other side. Same thing. Another one of these. So if my friends over, they can hang their jackets as well. Decorated those. And we have Beethoven Second and Out on a Limb. So some cool posters there. The Ghastly Love of Johnny X, which is actually signed by Paul Bunnell. Super nice guy. Great movie. Very cool director. Got this display piece for The Simpsons. You can get animated. I believe this hung up in like 7-Elevens or something like that. So very cool. Over on this side, we have a signed poster right there. And then down here we have Metropolis. I love this Metropolis poster. Found that at a Goodwill for like $5. That is so cool. Absolutely love that. So very awesome. So Tyler Mane signed Halloween H2 picture. I got my Funny Farm display up there. Very cool. Chevy Chase Funny Farm. Awesome. George of the Jungle right there. Casper. This is a cool display piece. You can either hang this as a little hanging thing, or you can actually set it on a table as a display piece as well. I chose to hang it, whatever word I'm looking for there is. And then I got my Free Willy 2 right here, which is really cool. I love that. And then we have Home Alone 3. That's actually supposed to be hanging, but I decided to put it there instead because it fits better there than hanging it up. I have my old Blockbuster, my old Hollywood rental cards up there as well. I had at least 2 or 3 other rental cards too, to like West Coast Video and I think a couple other places. And like an idiot, I threw them out because a movie gallery was one. Yeah, I had a bunch of these. But I threw them out because the store's closed. I thought, oh, I don't need them anymore. I regret that. I wish I still had them all. I would love to just have them displayed, but it is what it is. So cool. Throat is going dry. Then I have my DVD video sign here. As you can see, it's 3D. It's very cool. This I got from a closing Borders. When Borders closed, they were selling everything. Everything must go, including all fixtures. I saw this very high up on a wall, and I said, is that for sale as well? They said, yeah, I think I got this for like $5-10, something like that. It was super cheap. But it was really amusing the way I had to get it. They gave me a very, very, very tall ladder. Again, this was really high up. This store had very high ceilings. Super high ladder, which I had to stand all the way on the very tippy top of. That part of the ladder that says, warning, do not stand. I had to stand on that. They also gave me a knife and like a screwdriver. And I was up there hacking this thing out of the wall. destroying the hell of the wall. They didn't care, but trying to salvage this, did not break it or anything like that. I was so happy. But the fact that I could have easily killed myself getting this made me kind of laugh, because I guess they just didn't care. Although I'm sure I still could have sued the company even though they were going out of business. But they didn't care. They let me just hack this away, and I got it. It's such a cool display sign. So again, this was from Closing Borders. It's awesome. I got some decor here with these adult-only signs. A lot of people ask me about these. I used to have doors here. Doors I built covering these. A lot of people ask me, what are they? Well, back here, you can see, probably not, there's a faucet, a water faucet back there. In here, there is like a water meter. And then in here, that's the main shut off to the house. So if I ever have a leak, or for whatever reason need to shut the water off, I have to reach in there and turn the nozzle. That is very important. So I had to leave these open when I built the shelves, because even though I've never used this spigot here in my life, probably never will, I still figured, you know, if I need to get to it, I need to get to it. I've never seen anybody use that water meter. I don't even know why it's there. It's not like anybody ever checks it or anything like that, but it's there, and I figured somebody needs to get to it. I need to keep it open. And obviously, again, that one there, very important, because if there's ever a flood or a pipe or something like that, I need to shut the water off to the house, and I need to get into that. So that is why I did that. And I thought, like I said, I used to have doors here, which were fine, but I thought, you know, I'm trying to go for that like early 90s rental store. I thought it wouldn't be funny to do these adult-only curtains like you would see in a rental store, where you would go into the adult-only section, they'd be blocked off by a curtain. Same thing going on here. So just kind of paying homage to the old rental stores and the adult-only section. I got some posters on the side here. These are posters I get from, a lot of these posters are posters I would get from movie theaters. They would just have them out like on a table when you go see a movie. So I have Mad Max Fury Road, Jupiter Ascending, Enchanted, Interstellar, which is interesting. On the other side, there's a poster, but it's like a landscape-size poster. But on this side was actually a poster for the Blu-ray. I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm going to hang that up. And then we have World War Z, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, National Treasure, if you can see that glare, National Treasure, The Campaign, Horrible Bosses 2, and Bad Boys 2. So I'll get some more of these eventually, probably like one more to go underneath each of these, and obviously I need a few more over here. I'll get them in time. That's about it, guys. But we do have, here we go, some bookends here, some Bugs Bunny, and there's, you see there's Taz's arm going for the cake and the giant mousetrap, and there's Taz over here. I also have this, everybody deserves a reward, the Blockbuster Rewards card. Get rewarded with free rentals all year long. Got that from a closing Blockbuster as well. That was pretty cool. Nice display piece. Again, since I'm kind of going for that rental store feel. So that's awesome. Oh, can't forget these. Beverly Hillbillies up here. See ya October 15th. But what year? So there you go. Cool display pieces. Again, these are for a movie theater. I know this lady who runs a rental store, and she bought out, like I think one of her relatives or her husband or something bought out the stock of an old movie theater, and they have all these cool things. Hopefully I'll get some more in time. All right. I guess one last thing I'll show you here is this right here. This is a remote control for lights. If I can focus on it. There we go. As you can see, marquee, overhang, rafters. So again, up here in the rafters, I have these blue lights. They're just Christmas lights. I hung them up. I was going to go with rope lights, but they're super expensive. Rope lights are very, very expensive, and they don't come in super long strands. So it would have cost me a ton of money to do rope lights. Oh, and also, one thing you got to realize, if you're doing rope lights, you can only hook so much of them up at a time. So I probably wouldn't have been able to go from all the way over here, all the way over to there with rope lights without hooking up more than I'm supposed to. You're only supposed to hook up like 5 or something together. After that, you got to restart again. That wouldn't work. These are very, very long strands. I think this is like 3 strands of lights. That's it. Obviously, I can hook that many up. So that works. But if I want to turn them off, rafters, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off. There you go. Very, very easy. Turn back on. Then where it says overhang, That is for this right here. There we go. Off, on, off, on. This actually also controls that light over there, as you can see. That's a new light, and I just added that light, so. Ooh, there we go. Very cool. And last is marquee, and my marquee is that right there. Now, I don't have it currently set to say anything, because unfortunately, it's a very old marquee. I got this, I had a friend who worked at a credit union. Credit union was going out of business. Well, not out of business. That location was going out of business. Credit union still does exist, but that location was going out of business, and they were going through their stock. They had this. They were throwing it away, and I'm like, does that thing still work? I opened it up. It was brand new. It had never been used. It was awesome. But unfortunately, since it's older, it doesn't have built-in memory. So in order to program it, you have to program it and then leave it on. And then once you turn it off, you have to reprogram it again. So that's why I don't have a program. But as you see, there you go. So on, off. So there you go. It shows a bunch of question marks right now, but I can program it to say, welcome to the library or anything like that. If I have a friend over, I can have it say, hi, Bob, or something like that. Whatever I want to say, welcome to Cinema Sickness, or something like that, or cinemasickness.com, whatever you want to say. Probably should have programmed before this video. Would have been cool. But there you go. So again, guys, that is pretty much it. Oh, trash can down here. Of course, if you're going to have a trash can, you got to have something cool like a Muppet Show trash can. I got this from a flea market a while back. That's pretty awesome. So, got to have Muppets in style there. We do have a table here. Nice big table to have like my laptop on and whatever else I'm doing. If I'm showing you guys movies and what I picked up, I can have plenty of space to have my camera set up, my laptop, and all the movies I bought. Of course, my nice comfy couch. Just a love seat, but I can sprawl out on this. I can lay down on it. Love it. Very comfortable. I'll show you this really quick. Push the table back a bit. And I'll show you what's in here. These are all my different remotes in here. I built this these slots. I actually custom built them. These are all my different remotes. So much stuff in here. I'm missing my CDI stuff back here. Apple TV, HD TV, Blu-ray player, Roku. This actually controls the marquee I showed you a little bit ago. What is this? A Lasers player, Beta, and so on. I'm not going to go through all of them, and so on and so forth. As you can see, many remotes. Now, a lot of people ask me, why not just get a universal remote? Two reasons. One, that ruins the fun of it for me. I like using, when I watch, if I'm going to watch my D-VHS, I want to use my D-VHS remote. I don't want to use universal remote. I want to use a remote for my D-VHS player. It's the way I go. But a lot of the remotes don't, have functionality for beta. They don't have functionality for D-VHS, or let's see, what else weird stuff do I have? Here you go. HD-VMD. Yeah, what universal remote is going to have, is going to work in HD-VMD player? None. So, things like that. So, even if I got a universal remote, it wouldn't even work for all my different players. So, that's one reason why. And two, again, I just like using the original remotes. It's half the fun of it. I mean, I don't need to watch stuff on beta, but I like watching stuff on beta. So if I'm going to take the time to watch a movie on beta, I'm going to want to use the remote that came with my beta player. So that's that. And then in here, this is all just random stuff. 3D glasses. I can't wait. I bought these tiny ones for Cinema Sickness Jr., kid size. So when he gets a little older, he can watch movies with me, extra cables and stuff like that. More 3D glasses. These are 3D glasses that I got from the theater. Every time they give you 3D glasses, I just keep them because these actually work with my TV, believe it or not. Here's where Cinnamon lives. The ever lovely Cinnamon. She lives in this drawer. We have coasters, because if you're going to drink down here, you got to put coasters on your table. Can't have unsightly rings. And of course, I have cool Sylvester ones. And then, got to have your microfiber cloth, so if you have a dirty disc, you can clean it off. So that is what is inside those drawers there. And now, I actually think that is legitimately it. I don't believe I have anything else to show you guys. We'll be almost an hour into this video, but there's so much to show you guys out here. Just want to make sure I showed you everything. All the lights. It's pretty cool. This is actually what it looks like. Oh, let me turn. There you go. Actually looks pretty cool down here when you turn off all the lights, and all you have was the the rafter lights on. I do this every so often because I like the look. You can still see down here. You're not going to bump into things, but it just looks really cool. Maybe from these lights and all the lights come on. There you go. So very awesome. And again, guys, that is that. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. I just wanted to do one of these for you guys because, again, some things have changed. Like I said, basically the main difference is the fact that I'm collecting CDs now, and the Game Boy games is one of the big changes down here. But I've also added some new decor and whatnot that I want to show you guys. So, all right, that is it. So if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to answer them for you guys. Anything you need to know, want to know, I can do that. How I built my shelves, anything like that. These are all custom built shelves. The whole library, all along the walls, are custom built shelves. So I did do that. Waterproofing, I did have the whole basement. This is in my basement, all waterproofed. See right here, here's the well. So all the water can run in there. Believe it or not, since we waterproofed it, we haven't gotten any water down here. We never got a ton of water down here. We only ever got a little bit of water down here. And the waterproofing has made it so that little bit of water just doesn't even come in. It doesn't even go into the pipe and go into the well. And hopefully that thing will never run. I'll never have to worry about it. But it is what it is. So you gotta have your library in your basement. You gotta have some waterproofing just to make absolutely sure you don't get any water in here, because the last thing you want in the basement is moisture. Quickly, some people ask me, do I have surround sound? Not yet. I would like to get surround sound. I do plan on getting surround sound in time. I'll get it, but before I get surround sound, I really want to get yeah, I don't know yeah. Why am I drawing blanks for you guys? I'm sorry, so my brain is not working today. I want to get a air conditioning unit, AC unit down here. I was going to say a private, I guess, or personal AC unit, whatever you want to call it. They do make small ones, and I can literally like mount up there, and they'll run pipes up through the rafters. They'll go out there, and then out there outside the house. It's just a little tiny unit, and it's basically like a giant unit that you would use to pump AC through your entire house, but just a very small version that I can use down here, because it does get a little warm down here in the summer, because there's no AC down here. I don't mind that there's no heating down here. That's fine, because in the winter, I'll just lay on the couch, snuggle with a blanket. I'm perfectly fine. I don't care if it's cold down here. But getting warm down here, it can get uncomfortable. It never gets super warm. We're not talking like 90 degrees, but, 75 degrees, 80 degrees, something like that. I think the highest I've ever seen is 80 degrees. And, 80 degrees is 80 degrees. It's still too warm. I want it nice and cool down here. I want it like 70 degrees down here when I'm down here. So the next thing I want to get is an AC unit. That is the next thing I want to get, because I can live without surround sound. Living without AC is a little difficult. So I'm going to get that eventually, get it mounted up there. That's the next thing I'm going to do. That's going to be like $4,000 or $5,000 to get that. Saving up for that. After that, I will then get surround sound. I'm going to have it like mounted into the ceiling, up into the rafters. I do plan on doing that. So in time, it'll happen. Not yet, but again, ooh, that's awesome. There you go. So in time, it will happen. AC first, then surround sound. So stay tuned for that. It'll eventually happen. All right. Again, I do think that is officially it. So again, like I said, if you have any questions at all, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer anything you want to know. And again, all these are custom built. I did build these all myself. The shelves like this and stuff, these were bought in store. Obviously, those are not custom, but all the wood shelves here are custom. The drawers I built down there, those are all custom. The fact that, see back here, there's a shelf back there. That's all custom. So I did build a lot of custom stuff myself. So, all right. That is it. So, again, guys, leave comments below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've actually stuck through the entire hour of this video, I do really appreciate it. But I wanted to make sure I thoroughly went through everything, showed you guys all there was to show you. And look, we've come to an end. I've actually gone through the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Well, not the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Just Ichabod, the Headless Horseman. I've actually gone through that twice now with you guys. So, all right, guys. That is it. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, be sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, that's it. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. And I will see you next time on my next Daily Sickness video. See you then, guys. Bye.